All right, guys, today we talked about dividing fractions, and we said that there's a rule that we use when we're dividing fractions. So the first thing that we need to remember is that we're always going to keep that first fraction. We're going to keep it the same. Nothing happens to it. It's going to stay exactly the same. Okay, then we're going to change our division sign to a multiplication sign, and we're going to flip the second fraction upside down. That flip is called the reciprocal, so then we're just going to multiply by the reciprocal. All right, so let's look at some examples. Keep, change, and flip. That's what you're going to think of when you're doing all of these. Keep the first, change the division to multiplication, and then flip your second fraction. So here's our examples. Our first one, we have 5/6 divided by 3/4. So in our example, we're going to keep the 5/6. We're going to change our division to multiplication, and then we're going to flip 3/4 to become 4/3. Once we do that, then we're just going to multiply straight across. 5 times 4 is 20. 6 times 3 is 18. Now, 20/18 is not our final answer because that's an improper fraction. We talked yesterday about how to turn our improper fractions into a mixed number. So we have to see how many times does 18 go into 20. 18 goes into 20 one time with 2 left over. So we take our 2, that's our numerator, and we put it over our denominator of 18. Now, that's not our final answer either, because I know that 2 and 18 are both divisible by 2. So I take my numerator divided by 2 and I get 1. I take my denominator divided by 2 and I get 9. So my final answer is 1 1/9. So let's take a look at an example over here where we're working with mixed numbers. We talked in class that when we are dividing mixed numbers, before we do any of our multiplication, division, whatever, before we do any of that, we have to turn our mixed numbers into improper fractions. So 2 3/4, we take our 4 times 2, which is 8, plus 3, which is 11, and then we put it over our original denominator 4, and we get 11/4. We're going to do the same thing to 2 1/3. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7, so we have 7/3. Now, notice, I didn't try to do any sort of keep, change, flip. This step is a step in itself where you rewrite with the improper fractions. A lot of people try to do the improper fractions and keep, change, flip all in one step, and they always forget to flip. So this is a step in itself. Now we're going to keep, change, flip. So we're going to keep our 11/4. We're going to change our multiplication to division, and then we're going to flip 7/3 to become 3/7. Then we're just going to multiply straight across. 11 times 3 is 33. 4 times 7 is 28. Now again, this is not our final answer. This can't be our final answer because 33/28 is an improper fraction. So to make it a proper fraction, we ask ourselves how many times does 28 go into 33? And that is 1. And we have 5 28s left over. Now, 5 28s cannot be simplified, so 1 5/28 is our final answer.